Hey there, crafty friend, Suzanne here in the studio today with another card play video, Card Play Volume 2. My upline, Karen Titus, and some of her downline demonstrators did another card play last weekend, and it's a paid event. They give us live demonstrations of various cards and PDF instructions. So while I can't share all the instructions with you, I will give you a few measurements on a new fun fold that I learned this weekend. Okay, let's just get to the cards, shall we? Let me zoom in here. Okay, here is the first one. Now this paper that I am using is from Mintay. It was called Written Memories, and you'll see a video on my channel where we did layouts from both the 12 by 12 paper pack, and we also had the 6 by 6 pad. So I had quite a bit of the 6 by 6 pad left, so I wanted to use that this weekend. So here is, you can see the background here, and this is just a very simple card. You basically take some kind of flowers or foliage and you stamp it here, and then you kind of cover that up, and then you stamp it going downward, and then you just put your sentiment right across the center. Isn't that pretty? Sorry for your loss. And then inside I did a little more stamping, and then I have forever in our hearts. And these were leftover chipboard from the Mintay Written Memories. Here's the next one. This is a little different. Here we're kind of creating a scene, and I used Swan Lake and Lily Pad Impressions. Is that what it was called? Lovely Lily Pad. And here you can see I have the modern label punch where I've stamped the swan, and then in the background I've done things on the lily pond. And then my sentiment just goes across here. Wherever you go today, may happiness follow. Isn't that pretty? Sweet. And then I did a little coloring with some blends. All right, and then here you can see these are Stampin' Up's Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. These were just on the clearance rack a couple weeks ago, so I grabbed them up. Alrighty. So there's that one. Next up, this one here only had the sentiment stamped on it. And here we have two panels side by side, and then a third panel at the bottom. And then we have this fish tail, and this was actually a chipboard already cut in that shape from that. And then again, I've got the rhinestones. And then inside, I have another piece of the chipboard. So pretty. This is just the prettiest paper. Here's another fun one. Here we have graph paper on the back, and then we have this basil Swiss dot paper, and then I've just used a deckled circle dies to cut out 2 layers. And this bottom layer was actually a piece of linen cardstock, and then I used that same botanical set to actually make it look like a wreath by stamping on it. And then I had this little bow, and then happy birthday. And then inside I've just got a pretty circle to go with those on the outside. Here's the next one. This one turned out really nice. Again, I've used the decal circle. Got some thread behind this. And then we're just layering things up. Precious memories. Isn't that pretty? And then inside, wishing I could heal your heart, inferring that those precious memories were about a loved one. So that'll be a sympathy card. Here's one of my favorite. I used that wood background stamp to get the wood. And then I've just layered these die cuts up on top of it. Several of these stamp sets are ones that I picked up at a rummage sale recently, so that's kind of why they got used. And then inside we have a little letter and remember. Next one's a thank you card. It's pretty. The die cuts in this paper pad was just so pretty. It's a thank you card. So here we've got 3 pins, 2 here and 1 here, so it makes for nice repetition. And then inside we have a little letter. This one was fun. Here, this is a fun fold where you fold down the top corner and then you put I think it's like about a 4-inch square on there, or 3 3/4, 3 1/2 maybe. And then you use small strips of paper and then you kind of quilt it with an embossing folder. I just think that turned out fabulous. Okay, here is a new fold for me. This is one I hadn't seen yet, and this comes out like this. So as you can see, you score it in 4 places, and then you have these front panels that are on your front 2 layers, and then you have something here on your back. So this is a happy birthday, always on my mind, time flies, happy birthday. So I will pop up those measurements there real quick for you. So you can do that one. That's a new one to me. Here is the next one. Nice thank you card. I like the repetition. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Those little washi tape things were a free die I had gotten from somewhere. And here basically we've got a 3x4 card on this flap that opens up. And then this flap opens this way. And then that reveals a small writing space for a note. So very fun. I like that a lot. Here was another complicated fold, and I'm not sure that mine is the best rendition of this. It might have worked better with other paper. But I did use some X's here on the typewriter paper. So I got a little bit of stamping in there. But this one folds out like this. So your place to write is here. And then it all folds up. So it's kind of fun, but I'm just not, I don't think mine is the best example of how it works. Here's another easy fun fold. You're just cutting your front panel in half and folding it back, and then you can use it for a gift card holder. And I actually used a punch then to do a little divot here to make it easier to get the card in and out. And this says happy birthday. So that was fun. Again, you're just cutting it in half and then cutting a little bit off of it. Or maybe that might be a little bit more than half, so that you still have that. Either way. And then, isn't that fun? I love this paper line, but I gotta tell you now, I am kind of sick of it now. Here's another thinking of you card. We've just layered up the fountain pens and the wax kit. And then inside we just have a little wax seal. Very nice, don't you think? Okay, I think at that point then I was just kind of on my own trying to use up the last of this. So here's this one. So basically I've got 2 panels behind with a center panel across and then a 3x4 card. And I've stamped thinking of you here. and added a die cut under and on top of the main panel. And then inside I just have a little die cut. Very fun. This one turned out really pretty. Again, here I'm just sort of using the paper as my guide. So I've got a die cut raised here, and then a little envelope here that says thinking of you, and then I've got a little background, little stamp here. That was also from the Best of Shelley. And then we've got the ink over here. And then inside we have a little seal. Here's another one. This is interesting. This is like a postage stamp punch from Stampin' Up. And I've put 4 of them down this edge of the paper. And then I've put this on top. And then thank you for everything. And then I've just added some sort of scribbles in various places just to tie it all in. Like how that one turned out. And then last but not least, here's another easy one. We have that same background stamp. I stamped it twice, so now I've got sort of 3 blue highlights. Then I've got 3. These were 3x4 cards. On the back they were frames, so I cut the frames down, and then I put the main panel on, and I used a little alcohol marker around the edge of all 3 to give them a little more dimension. And then inside of this one, we just have this flower, which matches the flowers on the front. Okay, there were a couple of more fun techniques that I tried, but I was kind of out of this paper. So here is the first one, and apparently this is called a barn door fold. And as you can see, you're just cutting the front panel in half, and then we were using a we wanted this punched home from the Humble Home stamp and punch set, and now I'm wishing I had cut this by hand. I actually used a die, and I didn't have a die close enough in to that square image there, so this is a little bit bigger than I would like it ideally. But then we punched this, and then inside I've got love. From our house to yours. So it'll be a great new home card. Isn't that cute? And then last but not least, this one I really liked. Here you do accordion folding. And then at the top, you've got this 2 panel. So you got another panel back there, and then you've got this sentiment over the top, and you've got ribbon, and I just have a slot punch there to make the hole for the ribbon, and this is Stampin' Up ribbon. Isn't it pretty? So I really like this one. And then the inside. Okay, so that was 20 cards in all, 10 different stamps or stamp sets. I blew through a whole bunch of leftovers. So I hope you've enjoyed all of these cards, because I was very productive. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. Bye for a bit.